One, two, three.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be starting the ceremony in about 3 to 5 minutes, so if you could find a seat now and remain in your seats until we begin, that'd be much appreciated. Thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, we've just been informed that the President is unavoidably delayed. He'll be here in about 10 minutes, so we're just going to play some incidental music for you, so carry on relaxing until he arrives. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of His Excellency Mr. Charles Savarin, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and Mrs. Savarin. Please remain standing for the presentation of the colours.
Colours! Shoulder up! Mark forward! March! Outward! Turn! Colours! Halt! Presidential salute! Present! Arms!
Isle of beauty, Isle of splendor, Isle to all so sweet and fair. All must surely gaze in wonder at thy gifts so rich and rare. Rivers, valleys, hills, and mountains, all these gifts we do extol. Healthy land so like all fountains, giving cheer that warms the soul.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Follow party! Shoulder up! Mark
Thank you, Ms. Roll and Ms. Pitco, for your beautiful renditions of the national anthems. Now, I'd like you to remain standing for the morning prayer of the physician. Dr. Ricardo Hood, who is due to give this prayer today, unfortunately has had to leave Ireland at very short notice because of a family bereavement. So I'm sure that the thoughts of all of his colleagues and students are with him at this difficult time. And so the prayer today will be given by Dr. Dwayne Thomas, Professor in the Department of Clinical Medicine. Dr. Thomas.
God, let my mind be ever clear and enlightened. By the bedside of the patient, let no alien thought deflect it. Let everything that experience and scholarship have taught it be present in it, and hinder it not in its tranquil work. For great and noble are those scientific judgments that serve the purpose of preserving the health and lives of thy creatures. Keep far from me the delusion that I can accomplish all things. Give me the strength, the will, and the opportunity to amplify my knowledge, which yesterday I would not have dreamt of. For the art is great, but the human mind presses untiringly. In the patient, let me ever see only the man. Thou all bountiful one hast chosen me to watch over the life and death of thy creatures. I prepare myself now for my calling. Stand thou by me in this great task, so that I may prosper. For without thine aid, man prospers not even in the smallest things.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas. Everyone now, please be seated. Well, after such a beautiful introduction to the proceedings, let me now officially welcome everyone to the Ross University School of Medicine White Coat ceremony for the class of 2021. I'd like to start by welcoming and thanking for their attendance His Excellency Mr. Charles Savarin, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and Mrs. Savarin, the Honourable Reginald Ostry, Acting Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, Dr. Giuliano De Porto, our White Coat Speaker, and Mrs. Elizabeth Carey Calienez, spouse of the White Coat Speaker, His Worship the Mayor of Portsmouth, Mr. Titus Francis, Dr. Dorian Shillingford, former Chairman of the Dominica Medical Board, our other visiting dignitaries and government ministers and officials, honoured guests, faculty and staff, families and friends who are celebrating here with us in Dominica, as well as everyone joining us online via our live stream today. And as the Senior Associate Dean for the Dominica campus of Ross University Medical School, I'd like to extend a special welcome to our incoming students. So, good afternoon, everyone. You remember we rehearsed that this morning? Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Now, students, you will have noticed a gift box sitting in front of you when you came in today. No? There's no gift box? So moving right along, I now have the pleasure and privilege to invite His Worship, Mr. Titus Francis, Lord Mayor of Portsmouth, to bid you welcome to Dominica and to the city with which we are a partner. Mr. Francis. You may still get the gift boxes at some point. It's just not quite clear where they are. Talk to Student Affairs. Right.
Let's see if you learned well. Good afternoon. Let me say good afternoon to His Excellency Charles Savarin, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and Mrs. Savarin, Honorable Reginald Ostry, Acting Prime Minister this afternoon and throughout, I also want to recognize Dr. Flaherty, Dean and Chancellor of Ross University, Dr. White, Senior Associate Dean of Ross University Post Dominica Campus, other specially invited guests, faculty, and you, the students, incoming students, class of 2021, good afternoon, and welcome to Dominica. This task this afternoon is something that is normally carried out by the parliamentary representative of the Portsmouth constituency. He is unavoidably absent this afternoon because he's out of state on state business. I'm not deputizing for him, but as mayor of Portsmouth, it is really a distinct honor for me to say welcome to Portsmouth, to the town of Portsmouth, welcome to Dominica, and welcome to Ross University. I have a relationship with Ross University. I have worked with Ross University for the past 23 years, or the last 23 years. And for that reason, it is really an honor for me to welcome you. I'm somehow associated with the history of Ross University. And your stay on Dominica will bring you closer to Ross University and the impact that this institution has had on the island Dominica and, more importantly, the community and surroundings of Portsmouth. But there's something special about Ross University. Ross University is probably, shall we say, married to Dominica. And what do I mean by that? Dominica is celebrating 39 years of political independence this year. And so too is Ross University celebrating 39 years of existence on the island of Dominica. And there could be no better marriage than the marriage between Ross University and Dominica. As you pursue your dream or dreams into becoming a medical doctor, I want to assure you that you have chosen the right place. So there's a song that says you are in the right place at the right time. So that your timing is correct, and there is no other country in the world that will provide you with the enabling environment to allow you to achieve that dream, to allow you to begin a career path of practicing medical practitioner, so to speak. But while you are here on island, I know the program is a fast-paced program. It's going to be very demanding. But I think you cannot miss falling in love with Dominica. You may have visited the produce market downtown in the last couple of weeks that you've been here. And you should go there every Saturday morning, once you have the time. Because it is a melting pot of culture. It is a social gathering. And you too can be part of it. You will get the nod to recognize you. Some people will say good morning, whether they know you or not. That is Dominica. That is how we welcome people to Dominica. So even if you leave this premise this afternoon, you walk down the road and you see a local, just nod or say good afternoon, please respond. See, like Dr. White said, you had been taught this morning to say good afternoon. So once you get that eye contact, it is nothing more than just welcoming you to Portsmouth, welcoming you to Dominica. We are among the most beautiful country in the world. the most beautiful people, the most welcoming people. But more than that, while you're here, there are a number of sites you must take time off. I know your schedule is going to be tight, but you will find time. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So, I will start by inviting you on May 6th, I think it is, on June 6th, provided that I have the date correct, to the Cabritz National Park, where we will celebrate the 8th annual Jazz and Creole. And you will, the 5th, the 4th annual Jazz and Creole? No, man. No. The date is, let's say, okay, the first weekend in June. Nonetheless, you will be thrilled to be in a historic site which represents the presence of the past. And that is where one of the wars were fought for possession of Dominica. And a lot of work has been done in restoration. So therefore, on that Sunday, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the first Sunday in June, be sure, in fact, I'm going to make a special plea to the exam committee, do not schedule any exams on that Monday. So our students, your students, can find the time to share in our jazz and Creole experience. But there's more than that to experience in Dominica while you're here. You may have gone up the Indian River already. That too has historic importance. In fact, Christopher Columbus, when he landed in Dominica, he first set foot on the Indian River Bay. That is significant in its own way, of course. You will find time to go to the Emerald Pool. You will find time to go to the Trafalgar Falls. And there are so many other places, our beautiful beaches. We do not boast of white sand, but there are some beautiful beaches in Dominica that you must find time to partake of. You are in Dominica at a time when we are just picking the mango season. Enjoy our succulent fruits. I know on campus has a number of trees. They're just as good to eat. So there are so many natural things in Dominica that you will enjoy while you're here. But in the same way, all play and no work makes Jack a dull boy. So I urge you to focus on the task ahead. You're here for one purpose, and that is to become medical doctors. Do not lose sight of your intention. But in between, please enjoy the nature island of the Caribbean. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Francis, for your warm welcome to our students and families. Some of us know Mr. Francis himself has a very fine singing voice, and when he mentioned a song, I thought for just a moment he might break into a rendition of something. Spring 2017 is an important point of transition for the school, with the appointment of a new Chancellor and Dean, Dr. William J. Owen, who is succeeding Dr. Joseph Flaherty, who has led the school through 5 important and successful years. 6 years now. Who's counting? So now I would like to welcome him as Chancellor and Dean Emeritus of Ross University School of Medicine to make some remarks and to introduce our new Dean and Chancellor.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Now you're used to it. It used to be always hard following His Honor, the Honorable Ian Douglas. But after Titus, I tell you, you did everything. The earth, the moon, the stars, it's tough. First, I want to congratulate you all for both getting in and having the wisdom to come here. It's a great medical school. I'd say one thing very important, remember this, because there's going to be some dark moments of the soul over the next few months. Every one of you can graduate from this school and become a doctor. Every one we have taken. It's a rigorous admissions process. We look at the grades and the MCATs, as you know, and the interviews and your whole record, and we only select people that are going to make it. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to be easy. In fact, it isn't. It's going to be hard. And I think Titus Francis hit it right on the head when he said, you got to enjoy what Dominica has to offer, but you're really going to have to, there's no easy way to get through medical school. You have to study harder than you have before. There's no tape you can put in at night and have it go through your brain. There's no download. There's no app. You just got to keep working and working at it, and I think you can make it. But pace yourself. Put in some rewards. This is a beautiful country. I think also take heart. How many white coat ceremonies of friends of yours that are in medical schools elsewhere does the president of the country come, along with many other distinguished people, and the mayor of the town, just to wish you welcome? And they mean it. This isn't, we don't pay them to do this. They really mean it. This is their country. You are guests. They're your host. Treat them well, and they're going to treat you well. And I wish you well. This is an amazing transition for me. This fall will be 50 years when I was in your shoes and started medical school. I know, I don't look that old. I only look, 49 years ago maybe I started. But if I had to do it over again, would I? No, not exactly. But do I regret the choice of being a doctor? The most humbling, honoring, joyous, difficult, adventurous thing I could have done. Was a great, great time. And I'm not done yet. I know the faculty is a little shocked to see me back here now. I thought you left. It's like Freddy Krueger, but I do have a great task. That's why I'm here. I get to introduce a truly distinguished man. So I think my work was not in vain since we were able to recruit Dr. William Bill Owen, an internist, a nephrologist, which is tough. Now, the hardest area to study, renal physiology and nephrology, and we got two of them. One as dean here, one as the overall dean and chancellor. Dr. Owen got his bachelor's at Brown University, got his MD at Tufts with honors. He did his graduate work in internal medicine and nephrology at Harvard's Brigham and Women's Hospital. He wrote over 180 papers in a full-time academic role before he also added administration. He was president of the University of Medicine and Dentistry of New Jersey, later merged with Rutgers and managed all the other health science colleges. He was Chancellor for Healthcare at the University of Tennessee. And more recently, he had a little stint as Dean of Medical Sciences at American University of the Caribbean, our sister school. Dr. Owen is a very committed, serious, and dedicated educator. He's learned a lot about this school already. He's eager to learn about what our faculty do, and most importantly, how we help our students do what they do. So it's my great honor and pleasure to introduce Dean and Chancellor William Owen.
have a little stand here for short people like me. Stan, I'm vexed at you. You brought me a bag of gift boxes yesterday and told me that I could keep them. Must I return them? Good afternoon, everyone. There you go. I want to welcome and recognize several wonderful and important people who are here with us today. First of all, His Excellency, the President, Charles Xavier. Thank you and welcome. The wife of the President, Mrs. Xavier. Thank you and welcome as well. Reginald Ostry, who has a strong and long history with Ross. Thank you for joining us as well, representing the Prime Minister. Senator Robert Tong, the Minister of Tourism and Urban Renewal. Thank you and welcome. His Worship, the Mayor, Mr. Titus Francis, who, as I understand it as well, has a wonderful voice. We will hopefully be taking advantage of that talent in the near future. Dr. Dorian Shillingford, former chairman of the Dominica Medical Board, welcome and thank you. Faculty, administration, staff, students, families, friends, especially of the class of 2021. Thank you as well for joining us this afternoon. This afternoon, we are going to celebrate the promise offered by another group of talented student doctors who are about to enter our venerated profession. I'm in turn honored and grateful for the opportunity to welcome you into our profession as you cross this first step to a noble career that is being initiated by the white coat ceremony. This is a celebratory occasion, but it's based on a professional value system that is reflected by solemnity and seriousness, and in turn reflects your future status as societal icons, as doctors. This afternoon, I want to remind you that you're going to be doing much more than simply donning the stereotypical garb of our profession, which is a starched white coat with deep pockets that you will insert the tools of our profession, which may be a stethoscope, a reminder note to yourself, or something as simple as a piece of candy to give to a distressed child. You're here to publicly acknowledge in the presence of your family, your friends, the faculty, staff, and public dignitaries, your willingness to accept the tremendous responsibilities and obligations of this, your chosen profession. The inaugural white coat ceremony was conducted at Columbia University, August 1993. Since that time, it has risen to the status of a professional rite of passage. The white coat ceremony is now presented at every medical school in America and at least 12 medical schools across the globe. It is an important and solemn occasion. I'm going to give you my perspective of the white coat ceremony, which is likely going to be a bit different than yours. And it's not just simply because I am of AARP age, which I am. I can go to Denny's and get a discounted meal on Thursday evenings. But it's also going to be, from my perspective, as a consequence of actively participating in the kinds of self-reflection in our profession that prompted the establishment of the white coat ceremony, which I'd like to remind us all of. In 1994, Rutgers University, which is a wonderful institution that I subsequently had the pleasure to lead, hosted the world's second white coat ceremony. So I'm going to offer an immersive history of the white coat ceremony to you. It has become a novel way to welcome students into our profession based on institutional memory. Let me tell you the story. Medicine and healers, as you see and understand them now, it's not been the case for very long. In 1983, Dr. Paul Starr, who at the time was a young Harvard sociologist, received a Pulitzer Prize and the Bancroft Prize for a landmark book that he wrote describing the cultural and economic evolution of our profession in the 20th century. It was titled, quote, "The Social Transformation of American Medicine." Dr. Starr described how what was a bitterly competitive and financial profession in the 19th century became a united and prosperous group in the second half of the 20th century. He told of how doctors in America created their own cultural and social authority for the profession that was unique not only for the profession, but unique for the world. He explained how, as the New York Times in the early 80s said, American medicine became a profession, quote, that was overdosing with money and power, end quote. How did medicine create its own demagoguery? By one, subconsciously exploiting a progressive belief in science over compassion and over humanism. By consciously restricting entry into the profession through limited admissions, very limited admissions, into medical schools, and by collaborating to establish near absolute authority over licensing, sites of clinical practice, and who could provide what disciplines across healthcare venues. My generation of medical leadership became very successful at a canon of professional exclusion. In medical school, we taught our students to embrace the biological rather than the biographical. We taught them to understand the malady rather than the man or the woman who was suffering from that malady. We taught our students that precision medicine, based on the genetic code, will always trump the social determinants of health that are reflected in something as simple as your postal code. By the end of the 20th century, on self-reflection, we didn't like what we were producing. Our offspring did not act in the profession as we had hoped that they would. They told jokes about patients and laughed about their maladies. They comfortably wore their subconscious biases like a warm coat in the wintertime. Too frequently, they made mistakes, and many burned out mid-career. Many patients did not like their doctors, and many doctors did not like themselves. Our profession needed to be reminded that a good doctor carried a blend of professionalism, ethics, and humanism, along with the celebrated cerebral sciences. A simple but clever approach was to state what we expected from our student doctors at the time of their entry into the profession, instead of the tradition of, let's tell you upon graduation. What seemed better? than to tell you what we expected of you at the beginning, and also an opportunity for us to commit to you from your models as your instructors what was expected. Now, decades later, my generation's ambitions embodied in great physician leaders like Dean Joe Flaherty, who you just heard from, have seen our audacious aspirations and promises accomplished by your simple donning of a white coat. The intent of the white coat ceremony is to provide our entering student doctors with a clear moral, ethical, and behavioral set of guidelines regarding our expectations of you. This will be your standard coming forward. Your mantling this afternoon with a white coat from the most venerated physicians and educators here at RUSM is a personally delivered gift of our faith, confidence, pride, and aspirations in you from one physician generation to the next generation of healers. I want to recognize some additional special people here who are going to inculcate you with a set of RUSM values. Who are these people? People with knowledge, people with vision, whose performance expectations are based on the quality of doctors they generate in this room, as opposed to the discoveries that have occurred in the laboratory. It is a redefinition of erudition which you will experience firsthand. Could I ask the faculty of RUSM to all please stand? Can we recognize these wonderful, special people with a round of applause? Thank you, RUSM faculty. RUSM's organizational DNA and cultural values will be imprinted on all of you. And what are those values? Well, class of 2021, you will learn the value of the maintenance of patient health as much as you value the provision of top-notch health care. We'll teach you your responsibility for a patient's health extends beyond the event that caused them to simply be hospitalized. You'll learn to function as part of an interprofessional team that delivers health care with other patient-centered providers. And lastly, you will learn the desire to continuously improve patient care. This will be instilled in you, whether it's through a discovery in a laboratory, or the report of a novel approach, or simply learning to be quiet, listen to your patient, hold his or her hand, and cry with them. We will inspire and inculcate in you these tenets. We're seeking to recreate a type of healthcare provider that was first described by Sir William Osler at Johns Hopkins, the first research university in the United States. And what did he say? A doctor must know the man or woman as much as he knows their disease. We aim to develop humanistic physicians who treat the mind, the spirit, and the body. Dean White, I'm noticing that you've either developed a choreiform movement or have Tourette's or maybe want me to hurry up, which I will do, but I will retort by, since I noticed your British accent, I'll retort with a story. Sir Winston Churchill to President Roosevelt, sharing with him in a lengthy letter the outcome in a European theater of war during World War II, said Churchill to Roosevelt, had I much more time, I would have been much more brief. So, Stan, in closing, I want to share a story about the importance of communication and expectation setting. A man called his doctor to follow up on some laboratory tests from a recent doctor's visit. Patient asked, "Doctor, do you have my test results?" The doctor responded, "Mr. Quinn, indeed I do. But I have some bad news, and some very bad news." Mr. Quinn responded, "Well, you might as well give me the bad news first." Doctor hesitated, and then he said, "The lab called with your test results. You have only 24 hours to live." Mr. Quinn screeched, "24 hours? That's terrible. What could be worse? What's the very bad news?" The doctor said, "I've been trying to reach you since yesterday." This off-color story has been circulating within the medical community for years, I'm sure. Dean Flaherty has shared it on occasion like I have. But I share it with you now in conclusion, not so much for the amusement, but as a rather stark example of the kinds of gallows humor that should perish as we hand over our professional baton to each of you. So in conclusion, class of 2021 here at Ross, we commit to providing you something of extraordinary value. A title and a societal rank that have been valued not just for decades or centuries, but for millennia. You young folks will very soon be called doctor. Don't let us down. Don't let yourselves down. Congratulations, class of 2021, on your white coat.
Thank you, Dr. Flaherty, and thank you for Dr. Owen for delivering such a splendid inaugural address at Whitecoat. Now I'd like to welcome Miss Brittany Hazard, one of your peers, who is the SGA Curriculum Chair, to say a few remarks. Brittany.
Good afternoon. To His Excellency, the other dignitaries, to you, the class of 2021. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Faith is taking the first step without even seeing the whole staircase." Today, you've taken your first step. The staircase you're getting ready to climb is not for the faint of heart. There will be steps you take that cause you to question the faith in yourself. On those days, I challenge you to remember today. Remember the ambition that drove you to this very moment, the moment you decided to leave your home and travel as far as you needed to chase your dream. On the days when your faith seems low, they're gonna come. Take a moment to bask in the Dominican sun as it sets beyond the horizon. Don't worry, let your fears fade away. Biochem will be there when you get back. And microanatomy too. On behalf of the Student Government Association of the Ross University School of Medicine and the entire student body, welcome to the Ross family. Congratulations on taking the first step, even though you can't see the whole staircase. And as we like to say, good luck and happy studying.
Thank you, Brittany. So it's now a pleasure to welcome to the podium Dr. Brian Hayes, our Associate Dean for Student Affairs, who has a number of things to tell you.
Don't worry, I'll only be here a couple hours. We're good. So welcome to the friends and family who are here for this special occasion, and a special welcome to those companions of you that will be with your student for the journey over the next 4 to 5 semesters. And of course, a very, very special welcome to all the students. At this point, we haven't seen each other in about a week, so think about it. You're that much closer to your goal, right? By my calculation, you only have, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that to you. So as you may know, Ross University School of Medicine has one purpose and one mission and one dream. That is, we offer you the opportunity to fulfill your dream of becoming a physician. We have more than 12,000 students who have graduated with their MD from Ross. And I'm sure that number is going to go up just over that mark in about a week when we have another group of students walk across the stage. Additionally, over the past 10 years, Ross has placed more graduates into residency slots than any other medical school in the world. Let that sink in for a minute. We can and do help dreams come true. We're also very proud of our diversity of students. We represent cultures, religions, and ethnic backgrounds throughout the globe. To highlight some of these similarities and differences, I want to take a few moments to tell you about yourself collectively. So, from a gender perspective, 57% of you are male and 43% of you are female. Condolences to those hoping the ratio would fall a little differently. Your average age, 26. Your age range, 19. All right, Doogie Howser. I'm surprised you got the reference. To 60. Your undergraduate GPA, 3.2 on average. Where'd the other one go? Oh, your MCAT, 25 on average, 496 on the new scale. 131 of you have Bachelors of Science, 35 of you Bachelors of Arts, and 5 of you Bachelors of Science in Nursing. All right, this is the piece that gets a little more interesting. And keeping in mind this is a very solemn occasion, feel free to clap kind of wildly if something resonates with you specifically. So how about we start with your undergraduate institution and those that are most represented. We have 6 students from both the University of Western Ontario. Really? Because every Canadian I've ever met has been really excited about this kind of stuff. So let me do that one more time. There are 6 of you, I think, unless I'm looking at different numbers, from the University of Western Ontario. The University of South Florida also has 6. There we go. All right. And there are 5 of you from the University of California, Los Angeles. There we go. 4 of you from University of Maryland, College Park. University of Central Florida. And Florida International University. And you're going to have to be a little loud. 3 of you from Arizona State. And Cal State Fullerton. As a class, you were born in 28 unique countries. 83 of you were born in the U.S. You can cheer. But 138 of you are U.S. citizens. 7 of you born in Canada, with 24 of you being Canadian citizens. We have 9 students in this group from India, a little more reserved. 6 from Iran. We have 5 from Haiti. There we go. 3 from Afghanistan. 2 from Iraq. 2 from Egypt. 2 from Cuba. And 2 from China. Now for those U.S. and Canadian residents, starting from the top, we have 33 of you from the state of California, 30 of you from the state of Florida, 18 of you from the state of Texas, 14 from Ontario, 11 from New York, 10 from New Jersey, 7 from Illinois, and 7 from Maryland. In terms of the most common first name, we'll go from the bottom to the top. How about that? 2 of you are Matthew, Nancy, Jordan, Ahmed, and Patrick. We have 3 Daniels. and 4 Johns. And your last names are all really unique, so I've got nothing there. All right. So looking at how you are, what you've done for your pre-physician career, 21 of you were teachers, teaching assistants, or tutors. 20 of you were scribes. 15 of you were research assistants. 11 were physician and nursing assistants. 5 RNs. 4 EMTs. 3 pharmacy techs or assistants. 3 lifeguards. They gave that to me under athletics. I kind of moved it. I didn't see I was an athletic, but you all tell me later. And 1 lab tech. You're a very altruistic class. 100 of you volunteered at hospitals or clinics before coming to Ross. Yeah. And 6 of you volunteered in nonprofit charities or organizations. You're also a very social group. For example, 6 of you participated in Greek letter organizations, 2 of you in pre-med organizations, and 7 of you were members of AMSA prior to coming. You're a talented group. We got 4 musicians among you. Oh, yeah! 1 cello, 1 guitar, 1 drummer, and 1 singer, and probably more in the making. We have 1 professional dance judge and 1 ballroom dancer. Waiting for that to come out. And an athletic group, of course. There are 34 athletes among you, 7 soccer or football, 2 American football, 8 basketball, 1 baseball, 1 lacrosse, 1 swimmer, 2 who played tennis, and 11 of you who coached. And let's not forget the 10 of you who, on your application, put that you were intramural stars. 3 basketball, 3 volleyball, 2 soccer, 1 softball, and 1 dodgeball. And don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that was put you over the edge to get here. Just wouldn't know for sure, but just guessing. So for all of your similarities and differences, we're honored to accompany you on this exciting, challenging journey of becoming a physician. We welcome each of you and celebrate your diversity. We are truly glad to have you here and look forward to seeing you achieve your dream in 4 short years. So thank you for being here. Congratulations. And I already see you twitching a little bit, so I'll move on with the program so you can get back to studying. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hayes. Who ever said that demographics can't be entertaining as well as informative? So at this point, I'd like to invite Dr. Nancy Selfridge, Professor and Chair of the Department of Clinical Medicine and Assistant Dean for Clinical Sciences, to the podium, who will provide us with an introduction to the medical profession and the white coat itself. Dr. Selfridge.
Let's see if I can get this back to the beginning. What do you think? Let's go back. Okay, great. Do you feel welcomed? All right, that's wonderful. Let me get myself set up so I can advance the slide. Okay, I'm going to talk to you today about the meaning of the white coat. So the very place we start every single time is, have physicians always worn white? And the answer is no, no, and no. Look at these 2 paintings by Thomas Eakins, who is a well-known American realist painter. And he did both of these, and you can see one is called the Gross Clinic, one the Agnew Clinic, and you are going to see these again next week. That's called foreshadowing. Okay. We see Dr. Gross in the picture on the left and Dr. Agnew in the picture on the right, both of them famous surgeons of the time. Look at the dates. These paintings are 14 years apart. Now, of course, they didn't have the same developed photography that we have now, and so this is a way of recording history. You can see some similarities in the pictures, right, in the composition, and we have an operating theater in each case with the attending physician overseeing what's going on with the patient. with other people in attendance at the surgery, possibly other physicians. And yet the garb of the physicians and the attendants are very different. So in a very short period of time, the normal garb of a physician in the United States went from dark clothing, which hides an awful lot, and I won't go there. Just think body fluids, blood, it's never mind. To what you see in the painting entitled The Agnew Clinic, and there the physicians and attendants are wearing white. And this happened simultaneously with a better understanding of antisepsis and the germ theory of disease. And white, obviously, if it looks very clean, is going to give the people around you a sense of confidence that, in fact, you're not soiled with, well, those other things. All right, so what does the white coat mean today? Some of you are looking at this and saying, oh, she sneaked into my apartment this morning and took a picture. That's creepy. No, I found it on the internet. That's more creepy. And it is a Ross white coat. Today is the last day. It's the very last day you're going to wear your white coat in ceremony. After this, it's going to be work clothes for you, because you're embarking on a hero's journey. Okay, the hero's journey. How many people have heard of Joseph Campbell? He's one of my favorites. He's written extensively about the hero's journey in myth and legend and story. And you can see it's a popular theme, right? Because of, well, even if you never heard of Joseph Campbell, most of you have seen every single one of the movies in these blockbuster franchises, right? And if you know anything about the hero's journey, and I'm going to show you a little bit about your own in a moment, I hope that all of these stories resonate with your life. So your hero's journey. Most of you, at some point, probably had a realization, I want to do something different, or I want to do something with my life, or I've figured out what I want to do with my life. I need to move forward. Now, Dr. Hood, who is going to deliver our prayer today, is not with us, but he told me that he knew by the time he was 5 years old that he was going to be a physician. But for a lot of us, we don't. It kind of comes to us over time, and some of us embark on another career before we actually even become physicians. At any rate, life is not what I want. I'm going to head in a different direction. Now, we might tell somebody about that. So we hear a call, and the next thing oftentimes is we start talking about it and move ourselves in the direction. There's an initiation process. Sometimes that's what you have to go through with undergrad and getting the courses and credits that you need in order to apply. Sometimes you apply to more than one school. Sometimes you get rejected. Sometimes you have to segue out and do other things. And it's not uncommon for the hero, for you, to hear naysaying, to hear people say, why do you want to do that? Or my mother said, why do you not want to be a musician? I don't know. You're going to get outside opinions. You can do it. You can't do it. If you want to do it, don't go here, don't go there. That's normal for the hero. But here you stand on the threshold. Actually, maybe you're about 1.5 millimeters past the point on the arrow. And it feels adventurous, doesn't it? It feels exciting. You don't know for sure what's coming. Typical for the hero, okay? But I promise you, this is the next stage, the pit. This is the point where you're going to be overworked, overwhelmed, tired, anxious, depressed, guilty, angry, etc. If you get depressed, come and see me, okay? But the pit, characteristically for the hero, is the hero struggle. And it's not pretty. If you think about those blockbuster franchises, you can probably remember scenes that represent the pit. Why for you is this the pit? Because of dragons, monsters, fears, trials, minis, finals, and ultimately the comp, before you can even take step one. And you might find yourself thinking this, as heroes often do, in the midst of the struggles. I can't have it. It's not going to happen. I believed in it and I don't believe. My faith is faltering. It's not worth it. I don't deserve it. It's futile. It's not real. It never was. I was misled. But you have and you will have allies, mentors, helpers, and lots of opportunities to succeed because of the helpers that will show up for you. So remember that they're there, and come and see us. And ultimately, there will be a triumph and a breakthrough. And you will graduate medical school, you'll get through your residency, and you'll face some more trials. Did I say that? It's normal. So finally, you will return home with a really important gift. And then you get to decide what you're going to do with your gift. So this is a short list of things that I discovered about my white coat. And I'm the same age as our new dean, I think, or close. Yeah, we're close? Okay, good. This is what I found out about my white coat. Symbolically, a cloak of compassion. It will remind you, let's be kind to everyone, because everyone we meet is suffering. Everyone we meet is struggling. A garment of trust, and it comes pretty automatically. You put this on and people are going to want to trust you. Do you deserve it? A coat of mail. Does it protect you from some things? Sometimes, but not necessarily. Not necessarily the wrath of your senior resident. That's okay. Team uniform, yes, you're instantly identified as a member of an important team and taking care of patients. Tear catcher, yes, sometimes your own tears, and sometimes the tears of your colleagues and your patients when you hug them, and I hope you hug them. Pajamas, yes, you will fall asleep in your white coat. Pillow, let me give you a tip. I can show you how to roll up your white coat and use it as a pillow so that when you unroll it, it looks hardly worn at all. A blankie, well, I was thinking of a security blankie. My white coat helped me. I put on my white coat and I felt like, yes, I can go and do this, okay? A sauna, well, that's in Dominica, and you'll find that out in your 3rd, 4th, and 5th semester when you venture out into community clinics in the hospital. Or insulation. I did most of my practice in Wisconsin, upper Midwest. It's great in the wintertime, another layer. Or an indicator that the laundry needs to be done, just like running out of clean underwear. And finally, a hair shirt. So what do I mean by this? It's a symbol of self-imposed punishment. You pick this life. Suffering, sacrifice, or penance, and sometimes it is that. And you have to remember, I chose this, and it is challenging. All right, the dark side of the white coat. Remember that when you put on your white coat, you can have an effect on other people just by virtue of putting on the coat. So I'm giving you white coat hypertension as an example. This is estimated to be about 20% of all hypertension that we detect in the clinic when we take people's blood pressure. And what does it come from? Situational fear and anxiety provoked in patients by having to see the doctor. Now think about this. It's not little kids, usually, until they have a bad experience. This is adults. And why are they so anxious? They might be worried about what's wrong with them, but sometimes it's because they have had an experience that has not been good and they're anticipating another one. So you have to decide. You have a choice what to do with your gift. Are you going to be a placebo? That's not prescribing placebo. Are you going to be a placebo? And that is having a positive effect on other people's health. Or are you going to be a nocebo and having a detrimental effect on other people's health? And you determine this by your interpersonal and communication skills, your demeanor, and your basic core acceptance of other human beings without judgment. I love Dr. Arthur Townsend. Not much written about this gentleman. You can see when he lived, and he was actually a physician in Nashville, Tennessee, at a very difficult time to be a physician of color. But he said this: the good physician does all the good he can to all the people he can in all the ways he can. And I would add this, 24/7, because your professional identity is your identity. Not just when you have your white coat on. It is your identity. And I would challenge you to practice this at all times. You saw what Anna Quinlan said this week when we had our catastrophe during the ACGME competency lecture. This woman at the AAMC convention in November 2013 said this to a room full of physicians: by virtue of choosing the profession, we patients expect you to be better than the rest of us. And she spent nearly an hour detailing how patients expect us to be better. And that means more honest, more patient, more accepting, more kind, smarter, more efficient, more effective, more concerned about everybody. On and on and on it went. And you might say, well, that sounds kind of difficult. So I'm going to share with you my favorite quote, one of my favorite quotes for medical students anyway. So maybe you recognize this guy. Who is this? Tom Hanks. You know the movie? Ah, I heard it, A League of Their Own. So I'm going to set you up for this quote. Remember, Tom Hanks in this movie is a washed-up baseball player. He's injured, and now he's alcoholic. And he gets this opportunity, if you will, not really an opportunity if you know the movie, at least in his perspective, to coach a women's baseball team. Women's baseball in this time, World War II, was insanely popular because all the male athletes had been drafted into the military. So there were many, many women's baseball teams, and it was incredibly popular. And he had a star player. Do you remember who played her? Yeah, Gina Davis, right. And the story goes on and on. At one point, though, into the film, Gina Davis, who is an incredibly gifted athlete, she is deciding she's going to walk away from the game. And she is walking away, and she's going to meet her husband who's back from the war. And Tom Hanks sees her, and he runs after her. And he goes, "What are you doing?" She goes, "Oh, I'm leaving." And he goes, "Well, it's okay with me. If you want to quit this game and you want to go home and make a bunch of babies with your husband, that's fine with me. But I need to know why. Because you love this, and you're good at it." And she said, "It just got too hard." And I would guess, in short order, even before you move on to clinicals, it's going to strike you one day. This is really hard. And you might even mention it to me and give me an opportunity to say this to you, and hopefully by then I'll know your name. It's supposed to be hard. If it wasn't hard, everyone would do it. The hard is what makes it great. So today, welcome to the greatness and the hardness of all of it.
Thank you, Dr. Selfridge, for that absorbing perspective. One of the highlights of these occasions for me is that it provides us with an opportunity to show you what you can become by hearing from one of your predecessors, someone who once upon a time was sitting where you are. So at this point, I'd like to invite Dr. Gillian Drummer-Smith, Chair of the Department of Microbiology and Immunology, to introduce our white coat keynote speaker, Dr. Drummer-Smith.
Good afternoon. Okay, yeah, welcome everybody. It is my honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Giuliano Deportu. So Dr. Deportu's path to medicine wasn't a straight one, as is probably the case for many of you. After completing a bachelor's in general science at the University of Puerto Rico, his applications to med school were unsuccessful. His second love was photography, and he worked as a photojournalist at the Associated Press and was a director of photography at a daily newspaper in Puerto Rico. Now, 8 years later, he felt the call again, and he decided to return to his earlier interest in biology and medicine. He attended MERP and then came to RUSM in 2005. Now, while he was at Ross, he distinguished himself academically. He was a TA in anatomy here on the island. He also was a TA in clinical medicine in Florida. And he graduated in 2009 with high honors, which I hope many of you sitting here today will do as well. His emergency medicine residency was split. He began at the University of Puerto Rico and fortunately was able to transfer to the University of Florida to be closer to his wife. He stayed to complete a fellowship in emergency ultrasound in 2013. And I wonder if those years developing his photographer's eye helped him out in that field. His teaching and also the research experience that he gained while at RUSM served him very well, as he currently has very extensive number of roles in undergraduate and graduate medical teaching and curriculum development. I can't even list them all for you. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. And he's a program director. He's the program director of the Emergency Medicine Residency Program at his institution. He's won several awards for excellence in teaching and mentorship. And he's the author of a number of primary publications and book chapters. When he's not shaping the minds of future doctors or caring for his patients, he and his wife Elizabeth are raising their 5-year-old son Giuliano, who's waving and seems I'm glad he finally paid attention to something here today. That's great. And we are very fortunate that his busy path from photographer to medical student like you, to doctor, to author and academic leader has led him to stand in front of you today. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Deportu back to the annex.
How's everybody doing? Good afternoon. Glad you're still awake. Glad to hear that. Your Excellency, President Saverin, Ms. Saverin, distinguished guests, Honorable Reginald Austri, Major Francis, Dr. Owen, Dr. Flaherty, Dr. White. Thank you, Dr. Dremel-Smith, for that introduction, and I'm Assistant Program Director, so you gave me a raise, and to Program Director, thank you, I'll let them know. To the distinguished faculty, fellow physicians, and to the students, I also want to acknowledge the presence of all the family members and friends that are here that have played such an important part in your careers up to this day. Very special thanks to Dr. Bill Clotter, who believed in me and accepted me into the MER program as a second class and gave me the opportunity that led me to fulfill my dream. A big thanks to my wife, who came down with me to Dominica. And without her support throughout this journey, I wouldn't be here today. One more thing, sa café, Dominica. So when I got an email from Ross about a month ago, I immediately panicked, because I'm thinking, I took all my minis, I passed them. I did my 5th semester in Miami, Dr. Fernandez. So I'm thinking, what's going on? I said, no, it's okay. You're being considered to be the white coat speaker. And I said, well, that's really cool. But in my class of 2009, we have very distinguished alumni, Dr. Filippo Kilemi, he's an orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Margaret Chidado, she's a maternal-fetal medicine doctor in New Jersey, Zahid Bahora, transplant hepatologist, Susan Conte, peds neurology, and Corina Zmigelski. I kept giving them names, and they said, oh, we know, but they weren't available. So, let's be serious and all jokes aside. It is an immense honor to be the speaker here, as about 10 years ago, I was sitting where you're sitting now. And this is a major milestone in your careers. We had a tent, the annex wasn't built. So you're receiving your white coat, and it has been the symbol of the medical profession. And it was first implemented by Dr. Alner Gold in 1993 at Columbia University in New York. And like many of the previous speakers mentioned, many medical schools continue with the tradition. Before the use of white linens in the medical profession, physicians wore black as it was a symbol of formal attire, status, and it was kind of like the black tie only type of deal these days. But with the ceremony, you now transitioned from your college years and previous careers to join the thousands of medical students and healthcare professionals that proudly wear the white coat every day. And indeed, be proud of this moment. Let it sink in. It is a special day as you begin your never-ending career in medicine. But I would like to convey a message to you and maybe some advice that I hope you find useful. Medicine is an ever-changing, complex, and humbling profession. The ability to take care of patients, to help them heal, carries with it the greatest responsibility. Patients will look to you in times of need, in times of despair, and sometimes at the hour of their death. They will place their lives in your hands. They will see you in your white coat and they will see a symbol of hope. They will expect great things from you, and I hope that you will be able to help them. In some instances, you will find that you're not able to win the battle against disease, and that is the circle of life. But be certain that placing your hand on someone's shoulder and using a smile to comfort a patient and a family member will be greatly appreciated and never forgotten. And students, technology in medicine can never replace compassion, and compassion sometimes can be the best medicine of all. The road to your dreams will probably not be an easy one. It will sometimes be torturous. The path to RUSM was probably not an easy one. Undergraduate courses, graduate courses, the MCAT. But there's no looking back. You guys are here now. It is up to you to succeed. Others might have given up, but you didn't. Be very, very proud of that. The faculty here will provide and guide you, but it is your responsibility to work harder than ever. I want to share a quote from a writer, a Greek writer called Nikos Kazantzakis, and it's about teaching and being a teacher. So ideal teachers are those who use themselves as bridges over which they can invite their students to cross, then having facilitated their crossing, joyfully collapse, encouraging them to create bridges of their own. Some of the best teachers that I had in my career are here at RUSM. Some of them are still here. It's been many years. Dr. Welke's here, Dr. Sharma, Dr. Jakubowski, they're still here. Their experience in high caliber, combined with the fantastic facilities available, will provide you what you need to become an MD. But beware, just because you're in this beautiful Caribbean paradise, the nature island of Dominica, please don't think that medical school will be an easy task. You will be bombarded with gargantuan loads of information. You will feel overwhelmed, and that's okay. It's normal. It's part of being a med student. But your days of cramming for an exam are over. You're no longer regurgitating information so you can pass a mini exam. You're training to be physicians and lifelong learners. And your test is not a multiple choice on a sheet of paper. It is a patient who is in pain, who is perhaps scared of learning about a potential terrible diagnosis. You will be their healer and their teacher. So don't procrastinate and delay your studying. Otherwise, you will feel like you're trying to learn a foreign language over the weekend, and no one can do that, so get organized. We all fail and have our falls along the way. It is the fact. The idea is to have the maturity to learn from those mistakes and your failures, so hopefully they are not duplicated. But never give up. This island life will pass before your eyes. Your medical school will be over before you know it. And then, on the road to success, you will take your steps, pass them, and match. It's just current news. We just matched Dr. Daniel Roberts from the class of 2017 into our emergency medicine residency at the University of Florida. So we're very happy, and these are great news. So look around, as these strangers around you will become classmates, friends, and then family. The bonds and friendships that you form here will last a lifetime. Several of my fellow Rossies still reminisce about times here in Dominica. More than one time, I mentally transported myself while being in rush hour traffic in New York City to the times where I was able to walk to class along evergreen paths, breathe the pure air, and feel the island breeze. Or perhaps a time when my wife went on a mission to Rosso, to the newly opened KFC. We didn't have a lot of eating options when I was here, and we would share bounty with our friends under a mango tree. When my friend, a former graduate, learned that I was coming to the white coat ceremony, she said, "That place has a piece of my heart." So as you continue your journey from the island days of basic sciences to the clinical years, along with your white coat, always remember that you not only represent yourselves, but you represent Ross University. We have over 12,000 alumni in very prestigious specialties and institutions all over the country. When you are rounding with a team or running around a ward, be advised that attendings always know what you're doing. We have ears and eyes everywhere, and we can only expect that you will represent RUSM as nothing but the stellar medical students that we are confident that you will become. Take every opportunity to learn during those clinical years. You will learn from students, from residents, from fellows, and attendings. Just because you wear a white coat, it doesn't mean that you're better than anybody who doesn't. You will learn the art of medicine from very experienced nurses that will also guide you along the way and make sure you don't kill anybody. But the art encompasses a universe of things. There's the science, the anatomy, of course. But be assured that you will learn things from the hospital staff that you will never find on the pages of a textbook. Listen to transport techs, to the security guards, and to the person who is doing housekeeping, as you might learn to be humble and to work extra hard from the unlikeliest of teachers. Please don't forget to share a smile and respect all the members that contribute and are part of the team one way or another. Yes, part of our crew there at UF. There's another quote that I first heard from Neil deGrasse Tyson, astrophysicist. He's a director of the Haydn Planetarium, awesome person. And it's a quote that actually is from Sir Isaac Newton. And it says, "If I have seen further than others, it is because it is by standing upon the shoulders of giants." Think of all these teachers, students, nurses, and their family members as these giants. If it wasn't for their support, guidance, and sacrifice, you would have a harder time on your path to your dream. It is due to their commitment to education and their passion for teaching that you will indeed reach your goal of becoming a physician. Now some final recs. I know everybody's dying to leave. Enjoy Dominica. This is a beautiful island. We had a great time here, and you have to balance your studying, like Mayor said, with enjoying this place. Work hard and immerse yourselves in the learning of medicine. Enjoy it. It is the most rewarding profession in the world. You guys are like stem cells right now, undifferentiated, full of energy. No matter what happens in the complicated healthcare world, always remember why you got yourselves into medicine. Remember why you wanted to become physicians. Be true to your calling. Always do what is right for your patient, no matter who tells you otherwise. Leave biases at the door when you walk into a room. Never label patients as the frequent flyer or the crazy one. Truly listen to your patients, and you will be a great doctor. And I want to leave with a short message. We've been talking about dreams and thinking about our dreams during the afternoon. And there was a street artist in New York, and he would write this all over the city for those New Yorkers or people in the city might have seen this. And it's a very short and very powerful message that I saw when I was in New York, and it was, become your dream. So congratulations, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. DePorto, for your inspiring words of advice and wisdom for our new students. Okay, it's the time to get them on. But don't all rush now. We're going to do this in a structured way. So we have ushers who will come to the ends of the rows in which you are sitting and give you instructions. Please follow them. You will come down the center aisle and move either to your left or right, depending on your instructions, and walk along to stand in front of one of the faculty who are standing to my right and left, who will now stand for the donning. When you've got your white coat on, you continue to walk up the side aisles of the room, returning to your row from the outside. Is that clear? Yeah? It's easier than regulatory volume increase, right, to follow. All right? So ushers, please begin the donning process.
I'll put it off. I'll put it off. Jackson. 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 Spies tell you the spies call me there. He tell me, you hear me? Jackson.
Thank you very much, Commissioners. Congratulations,
Jackson.
class of 2021. Good luck as you proceed on your medical education. I was going to say you all look splendid, so give yourselves a round of applause. So it's good that you're previewing. So give yourselves another round of applause. I now welcome back to the podium Dr. Flaherty to lead the Hippocratic Oath. Dr. Flaherty.
Jackson, I know what that is. Jackson.
Don't get that. I'll read a line. You repeat after me, okay? I swear to fulfill to the best of my ability and judgment this covenant. I will respect the hard-won scientific gains of those physicians in whose steps I walk. And gladly share such knowledge as mine for those who are to follow. I will apply for the benefit of the sick all measures which are required. Avoiding those twin traps of overtreatment and therapeutic nihilism. I remember that there is an art to medicine as well as a science. And that warmth, sympathy, and understanding may outweigh the surgeon's knife or the chemist's drug. Try it again, try it again. I will not be ashamed to say, I know not, nor will I fail to call my colleagues when the skills of another are needed for a patient's recovery. I will not be ashamed to say, I know not, nor will I fail to call in my colleagues when the skills of another are needed for a patient's recovery. I will respect the privacy of my patients, for their problems are not disclosed to me that others may know. I will respect the privacy of my patients, for their problems are not disclosed to me that the world may know. Most especially must I tread with care in the matters of life and death. Most especially must I tread with care in the matters of life and death. It is given to me to save a life, all thanks. but it may also be within my power to take a life. This awesome responsibility must be faced with great humbleness and awareness of my own frailty. Above all, I must not play at God. I will remember that I do not treat a fever chart, a cancerous growth, but a sick human being. Whose illness may affect the person's family and economic stability. My responsibility includes those related problems if I'm to care adequately for the sick. I will prevent disease whenever I can, for prevention is preferable to cure. I will remember that I remain a member of society with special obligations to all my fellow human beings, those sound of mind and body, as well as the infirm. If I do not violate this oath, may I enjoy life and art, respected while I live, and remembered with affection thereafter. May I always act so as to preserve the finest traditions of my calling. And may I long experience the joy of healing those who seek my help. Thank you. I think you can sit down now.
Yes, please be seated. At this time, I'd like to invite Doctors Dobby, Hayes, and Owen, and Mr. Peter Getz, our Vice Dean, to the podium to come forward and assist with presentation of gifts for our guests. So firstly, Dr. Owen will present some flowers to Mrs. Savrin. No. Dr. Flaherty will present a gift to Dr. DePorter. Mr. Getz will present a gift to Elizabeth, the wife of Dr. DePorter. Dr. Hayes will present a gift to Mrs. Owen. And finally, Dr. Dobby will present some flowers to my wife. See, I told you it was worth coming, didn't I? Finally, to mark his retirement from Ross University as Dean and Chancellor, I'd like to present something to Dr. Flaherty. Hold it up. Yeah. As a school, we couldn't allow him to escape This is a token of our appreciation to him for all of his efforts on behalf of this school. And we hope that as he now has more time to spend in his retirement, that he will find time to look at this picture and be reminded with fondness of us all.
Thank you.
And I'm very jealous because it was the one painting of several that I would have picked for myself.
Will it fit an overhead on Seaboard?
No. Finally, I would like to thank all of our presenters, dignitaries, guests, faculty, staff, and our current students who have assisted in this very important and special ceremony. I hope you all found it an inspiring and motivating white coat ceremony. Now please stand for the retreat of the colours.
Slow! Mark 10! Left and right! Turn! Forward! Man!
Please remain standing for the departure of His Excellency Mr. Charles Savrin, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and Mrs. Savrin.
Please remain standing for the departure of the Reginald Austin, Acting Prime Minister, Commonwealth of Dominica. This is the part where we stand here awkwardly for a few minutes while the president leaves the premises. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves a little bit. You may be seated as well. Thank you, Lynn. You will now be excused at the direction of your usher at the end of your roll, and then go outside and enjoy some food. And congratulations again.